Sit down real quick because I'm going to learn you a thing or two about probably one of the best special teams performances maybe of all time. The game that we're watching today is the 2011 Chicago Bears taking on the, at the time, Oakland Raiders. And fellas, this is a thing of beauty. Just a quick run through real quick. Sebastian Janikowski and Shane Lechler are going to single-handedly carry an anemic offense and a defense with more holes in it than your average block of Swiss cheese on to win this game in a 25-20 nail-biter finish that ended in probably the most ridiculous way ever. It is completely crazy from start to end. So sit down, buckle up, and let's go. So first, let me introduce you to the 2011 Chicago Bears. These guys are the definition of nothing special. They end the season going 8-8, and I just want to show you some of the plays of mediocrity. It's just an okay punt. It forces the fair catch, but this isn't even the Raiders' starting returner. Flip the script, and now you have Sebastian Janikowski out to put a 40-yarder, and man, does he cut his first couple just a little bit close. This one looks like it's really going to take a turn there and sneak outside the upright, but somehow, by the grace of God himself, it goes in. So he's like, okay, yeah, a little 40-yarder, nothing special. Next thing, once again, Bears find themselves stalling out. Another mediocre punt. This time, the guy puts up a little bit more of a fight and does everything he can to make sure that he gets almost 0 yards on this return, as most of his time is spent running backwards. But that is aside the point. It just goes to show that the Sebastian Janikowski-Shane Lechler combo is getting no help. Here comes Shane's first punt, and mind you, they are kicking it to none other than Devin Hester. This guy is a menace, so he does a little bit of an angled kick, but these guys are flying downfield, and he only gets about a yard on this return, but even that is mitigated by a holding call, which leads to another, you guessed it, Sebastian Janikowski kick after the Bears once again stall out. And you can tell, man, Sebastian's not exactly getting free 19-yard field goals here. He's actually having to put a little bit of work in because the Raiders' offense is just barely getting it past midfield, just into field goal range, and then it looks like they simply keel over and die. And then the offense says, you know what, now we're not even going to get into field goal range. Shane, time to play your favorite game of, please, for the love of God, keep the ball away from Devin Hester. And oh my Lord, does nobody play it better than Shane does. Look at this beautiful kick, angles it towards the sideline. Hester just lets it go, boom, out of bounds at the 3. Guys, you can't write it up better than that, and even if you could write it up better than that, there's no way you execute it better than that. So Shane's just like letting his nuts hang right now. Man is just not giving a care in the world, and here's the kind of things that they're going with, okay? Carson Palmer gets flushed out of the pocket, rolls to his left. He's like, oh yeah, 4 Bears defenders, seems like a great area to tip the ball to, and guess what? They get an interception. Surprise, surprise. This leads to a Bears touchdown. And now they're like, okay, I guess Sebastian needs to go back out to work because we're losing again. So he's already put up 6 points. Hey, what's 9 points? Goes back out. This one's, maybe a little closer than the other two. It's only a 42-yarder. So I guess, hey, he'll take anything at this point. Gets the ball through pretty easily. I mean, hey, it's what he does. So now, his leg's probably getting a little tired, but do they give him a playoff? Heck no. In fact, on this pretty much absolutely free pick 6, they run it all the way back to the 7-yard line, and dude ends up getting gassed and tackled by probably the biggest guy on this field. Now, don't get me wrong. That man is hauling ass down there chasing after him, and I'm surprised he was able to make that play. But come on, bro. You just got to finish to the end zone, and you're pretty much clear. But with the ball in the 7, no way they should get choked up right here and stop. There should be a free touchdown, right? Absolutely wrong. Boom. Sebastian Janikowski back out there to make yet another one. This one at least is a little bit closer. They get the ball down to a 19-yard attempt, and he just puts it through easily. But I mean, come on, guys. How much better field position can you start with and still end up choking? So at this point, I am absolutely not shocked by anything that happens later in this game. So with only 5 seconds left in the second, he puts it through to make his total points for the game 12, which is going to bring us into our third quarter, and good Lord, is it more in the same, because not even 4 minutes in, he finds himself back up on their first possession to go hit another field goal. So after going 4 for 4 on his first 4 attempts, the Wendy's CEO somewhere is out there writing that down like, hey, that kind of has a nice ring to it, but he's about to make it 5 for 5, and he's going to make a decisive decision that, hey, we're going to stick with the 4 for 4 combo at Wendy's. 5 for 5, just for whatever reason, does not sound the same. So now that they have just the most basic of leads, they go ahead and put Shane Lechler back out there because they're like, hey man, who needs to score any more points? 15 is surely enough to win us this game. So he kicks the ball just directly down the middle to Devin Hester and gives everybody a small heart attack, because even though his first couple seconds of having the ball isn't great, oh my Lord, there's like that split second when you think he's going to find the seam up the sideline. This scares the coaches enough that they're like, you know what, we're going to let Sebastian Janikowski get one more to make this 6 and break a franchise record and probably make this one of the most fun games to watch watch if you're just a pure kicking enthusiast like myself, but that's exactly what they do. He puts it straight down the middle. Congratulations, the record is yours, and you have now put up all 18 of your team's points in one game, which is just completely nuts. So now you're thinking, okay, he went 6 for 6 on field goals. Shane Lechler was already able to put a ball down inside the 5 and keep one of the most dangerous return men in the history of the game away from ever scoring some points or even getting more than a couple yards. So this is it, right? Wrong. Shane Lechler is going to do something absolutely insane and hit this huge 80-yard punt, and notice 72 of those yards were in the air. I think it landed about the 8, which is just absolutely insane. Devin Hester himself almost ends up touching it because it's that hard, and he is going nuts. Lechler's like, okay, yeah, don't forget about me. I'm a specialist on this team too, and that's not even the least of it. So off screen, what's going to happen is the Bears are going to put up 10 more points thanks to the Raiders' open border policy, leaving just 1 minute left on the clock, and Shane Lechler has to do something absolutely amazing here because he's kicking into the most dangerous return man. They're coming after it full speed, trying to get it blocked, and it's going to be a bad snap. So what does he do? He does what any GOAT does and gets off an absolute pearl down in the ball at the 4. So 19 points put up by Sebastian Janikowski and a ton of great punts later, and here you have it with 1 minute and 1 second left in this game. The Bears are going to have to try to make some real plays happen here, which leads to one of the most hilarious finishes I think I have ever seen in my life. Okay, so they need something big. They're going to try to make some scores here in the last couple seconds, and what ultimately ends up happening is they make one play and the guy ends up in bounds, so they run up to the first down marker to try to spike it. But here's the thing, for whatever reason, the QB tries to play something a little bit cute where he steps back, fakes the spike, and then actually spikes it. And here's the thing, if you fake the spike, you can't actually spike it, so it leads to the time expiring as this play gets called for intentional grounding. It is the most hilarious thing I've ever watched. It is so sad, and it's the only proper way for this game to end. So anyway, hope you guys are having a great day, and peace.
Intentional grounding. Offense. Lost it down. 10-second runoff at the end of the game.
So a 10-second runoff, intentional grounding penalty because Haney did not spike it immediately. Took a couple of steps back, tried the fake, then spiked it, and is called for intentional grounding. 10-second runoff. The ball game is over.